Hey everyone, I'm Michael, and this is another episode in my series, A Plant a Week. In this series, I talk about various houseplants. I highlight one for the whole video, talking about how to properly care for it, how to water it, how to propagate it, everything that you need to know to keep your plant healthy and happy. And today we are talking about Sansevieria Zeylanica. And I might have a Sansevieria problem. And I think that my problem is that I need more. Yeah, I need more. This plant is Sansevieria Zeylanica, also known as snake plant or mother-in-law's tongue. It's one of the most common types of Sansevieria and one of the cheapest. Despite that, this plant is one of my favorite plants. I love the look of these plants, from larger, fuller ones to smaller little groupings. They're just so sculptural and tall, and I love the coloration of the lighter green, sometimes even a bluish green, and the darker stripes. Yeah, I love this plant. It's been a favorite of mine for years, despite it being one of the easiest plants to come by. Literally, you can buy this plant anywhere, and it's almost always in stock. That doesn't stop me from wanting every single one I see, though. These plants also make great gifts. And not just for me, the fact that they're one of the easiest plants to keep make them a great gift for new and seasoned houseplant owners. These plants also flower. Here's what it looks like when the flowers are dead. I was like 2 days late in filming this to capture live flowers. When the flowers are done, if you're lucky enough to get flowers, to get rid of the stalk, you just cut it right at the base. Don't buy this plant though thinking that it will flower often. Apparently it's quite rare for Sansevieria to flower indoors. This plant is sort of succulent-like, meaning it likes well-draining soil and very little water. The soil I keep mine in is very porous, with plenty of perlite and orchid bark to break up the little soil that's in there. When watering these guys, you don't want to overdo it. They need a lick of water and that's about it. In the winter, I water mine once to twice a month, while in the summer they get water pretty regularly on a weekly basis. Unless the soil is still moist, in which case I hold off for another week. If you give them too much water, you'll notice they'll decline pretty rapidly. Their leaves will discolor, often turning yellow, and become mushy, and it'll just look overall really unwell. As you can see, I overwatered this one. I made the mistake of giving a few of them a good soak when I took them outside, and they did not respond well to that. I thought that they'd need more water being outside in direct sun and in the heat, but nope, I learned my lesson. These plants also like to be root-bound and are known to burst open pots. If you repot your Sansevieria too soon, it might take a while for it to show any new growth, as it typically only starts to push out new leaves when the roots are tightly wound around the pot. One of the things that makes Sansevieria so great is that they can live in a wide range of lighting. While they prefer bright light and thrive in lighter conditions, they can be placed in dark corners. They won't need as much water or grow nearly as fast, and if conditions are too dark, it will eventually decline, but its ability to grow in darker areas makes it one of the few houseplants ideal for most locations. There are two ways to propagate Sansevieria: division and leaf propagation. As your plant grows, you'll notice new babies shooting up near the larger plants. If you want to separate these babies and put them in their own pots or start your own plant, you have to uproot the plant and snip the babies off where the roots connect them to the mother plant. Then you can pot it up separately and start a whole new Sansevieria plant. You can also cut off leaves and place them in water to root that way. I've never tried this method before, but there are tons of videos about propagating these guys. I've heard that they propagate quite slowly in water though, so keep that in mind. Despite how easy this plant is to grow, Sansevierias are toxic to humans and animals. You really just can't have it all. It will cause nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea if ingested. As far as pests go, they're pretty resilient to most houseplant pests. However, I just dealt with a pretty bad case of spider mites on one of mine, as well as one of my Hoya compactas. To treat that, I ended up repotting the plant in new soil and giving it a few washes with insecticidal soap. I don't know what it is about these plants, I just love them so much. I think they're so cool and gorgeous. I might be a little biased because my very first houseplant was one of these. Actually, it was this one. It's been with me for about 7 years now. Since then, my Sansevieria family has grown a little bit bigger, and I hope that it continues to grow, because these plants are just one of my favorites. Thanks again for watching. Remember to like and subscribe for similar content. On Mondays, I post videos about houseplants, and on Fridays, I also post videos about houseplants, and reading, writing, photography, art, and any other generic interests of mine. As always, you can find my social media links in the description below. Also, you can find links to H&H Games, the board game company I've helped create, and our debut board game, Season of Heroes. You can also find the Amazon links to my fantasy series, A Chronicle of Crowns. Thanks for watching, bye!